Full custody? I don't want those kids. Man, I'm pretty angry. So, you want to fight too? No? Okay, let's talk about manga. Kengan Asura is a fast-paced, heavy-action martial arts manga written by Yabako Sandrovich, a man who believes that capitalism should have more shirtless men. The basic premise is that for the last 300 years, Japan has been hiring fighters to beat the shit out of each other just to secure marketing rights. This has been expanded into the modern era, where underground fighting tournaments are held to figure out who gets the best deal. If an agreement can't be made naturally, then you can hire a ripped proxy to beat the fine print into your rival company. Trying to decide if Coke or Pepsi is served at a restaurant? Time to hold a death match. Dunder Mifflin and Staples both up for that Lackawanna County contract? Tell Dwight to wash his gi. He's gonna need it. And when Elon Musk was trying to get that Twitter deal sorted, you know he called up Hulk Hogan, brother. Real quick, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this shit. You know, the standard YouTube stuff. And leave a comment if you want to give me some recommendations to review, especially if it's martial arts based, or if you just want to tell me my hat sucks. But don't leave a comment telling me Michael is a bad friend, because that man knows it. This is a great premise for a great series. You've got fantastic fight scenes delivered by an interesting cast of characters, each with a diverse set of goals and styles. You got Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, Karate, steroids, fucking ballet. This manga has more styles than One Direction. The entire manga is just one big tournament arc, where the main character has a little plot armor, but the fights are still surprising and satisfying. The fighters are all on different levels, so some fights are complete curb stomps, and others are won by a razor-thin margin. But that is one thick razor. You like men? Well, then this is the manga for you. You've got plenty of beefcakes and pretty boys pounding each other into dirt. You like women? Well, maybe skip this manga. There are women, of course, but they're mostly relegated to support roles and are usually drawn with some fan service, which I could understand if normally you'd be put off by, but the men get plenty of fan service as well. They do have another series focusing on women called Strike It Rich, so if you like the muscle ladies, go ahead and check that one out. Back to the men, though. Just look at these fun characters. You've got a loud, cocky man who will rip your skin off with a pinch, a ballet practitioner with a foul mouth and an even fouler spin, and this Zarbon-looking Thai bodyguard who's apparently officially based on Broly. Oh, I'm just saying, he looks way more like Zarbon. And many, many more. The fights are drawn with great impact and feature a huge variety. Some matches are cold and calculating, technique versus technique, and others are brutal beatdown slugfests, leaving the opponents looking like a battered mess. There's also some very obvious bullshit, but it's entertaining bullshit. Like this guy who can slap your ass and break your neck, or this guy who studied ancient kung fu based on emulating animals and went, "Don't these fuckers know that a Scud missile does way more damage than a monkey?" He loses pretty early. I try to avoid spoilers, but I needed you to know that this man gets eliminated. Moving on. Now that we've talked about the art, both visual and martial, let's move on to the story. Basically, the Kengan Association, the one organizing the aforementioned matches from earlier, is hosting their biggest tournament ever, where they're trying to decide the new leader of the organization. Kazuo Yamashita, an employee at a large organization, witnesses a homeless man beat up a gangster and then goes and gets laid. His boss then puts him in charge of a different company and has him employ that homeless man from earlier. These might all sound like great things, But that homeless man from earlier is actually the second protagonist, Tokita Oma. And that company that Kazi is put in charge of is actually just a front so that his boss, Mr. Nogi, can have more people representing him at the tournament. And I'm pretty sure that was just a prostitute he slept with. But due to the nature of that other stuff he has to deal with, I'm just going to go ahead and give him this one. Nice game, Kazuo. Now, this is probably going to be the only negative part of my review. I find the story to be a tad convoluted. When the focus isn't on the fights, it's on the battle for the throne. Not unlike Game of Thrones, there's politics, backroom deals, and even some conspiracy theories. I've reread it 3 times, and the overarching plot is just, it's got too much going on to grab me. I know there's something about a worm. There's a worm, and nobody likes it. It's freaking everybody out. And there's a whole thing about a bunch of people with the same name. There was a big line at the registration office, so they couldn't change their name, and now all these people are pissed. But the smaller stories and the personal stories of the different characters and their backgrounds are pretty interesting to read, so it's still worth engaging with. I'd recommend it. Not the sequel, though. The sequel is pure dog shit. Thick razor my ass. 11 Air Part 2 coming next year.